Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you all are fine. Welcome to our online classes. I am Mrs. Nehal Mori and today we are going to learn chapter 2nd of Civics, Diversity and Discrimination part 2nd. Part 1st we have already discussed in the last video. Now let's quickly revise what we learned in the last video. So these are the 3 points which we learned in detail. What are they? Difference and prejudice, creating stereotypes, inequality and discrimination. I hope you remember all these points. Okay, now let's begin with today's video. Inequality and discrimination. What do you understand by discrimination? What do you understand by discrimination? Discrimination is a situation when someone is treated unfairly or differently. Discrimination is a situation where we do not treat a person properly. That means he is treated unfairly or differently. Discrimination happens when people act on the prejudices or stereotypes. Now, what is the meaning of prejudice and a stereotype? We have learnt already. So, let's connect prejudice, stereotype with division and discrimination. Now, discrimination means what? If you remember, in the first chapter, we have learned about the story of Samir Ek and Samir Do. They had the same name, Samir and Samir. Okay, they were of the same age, but they belonged to the different religion. They belonged to different economic background. One was going to school, one was illiterate. So these all things happened. Okay, so this is what the discrimination and beautiful example of discrimination due to diversity. Now keep this story in mind. We will learn it further. Okay. What is the basis of discrimination? Now, as I told you, now think about the story. Samir Ek and Samir Do, their languages were different, their religion were different, the customs and the practices they followed were different, the economic background was different. So this is what a basic of discrimination. Okay, now discrimination due to economic inequalities. The most important part of discrimination, or the why the discrimination is done, is mostly due to economic inequalities. Now, how it's done, let's learn. Okay, discrimination due to economic inequalities. It is not a form of diversity, but it is a form of inequality. Discrimination done due to economic inequality. It is not a form of diversity. We have learned in the last session that diversity is a very beautiful thing and we should enjoy it. So, economic inequality cannot be enjoyed, right? So, it is a form of inequality, it is not a form of diversity. People who are poor do not have the resources or money to meet their basic needs of food, clothing and shelter. Poor people, obviously, they cannot meet their basic needs of food, clothing and shelter. Some people may experience both kind of discrimination. Now here, both word, that means two types of discrimination. First, they are poor, so they are discriminated. That means they are treated unfairly, unequally in the society. Now, what is the second reason why they are treated unfairly or they are discriminated? Let's find out. Okay. Poor, first point is poor. Poor as well as they belong to group whose culture is not valued. They are poor, this is the first point, and the second point is because they belong to a certain group which is not valued or which is not respected by the society, they are discriminated. For example, tribal peoples. Now, tribal peoples, they are poor. First of all, they are very poor, and secondly, that particular group of people is not they are not respected by the those people who are not tribal, means those who do not live in jungles, they are not respected by them. So obviously they are facing the discrimination problem both ways, poor as well as they are not respected by, because their culture is not valued by the society. Okay, now one more example, a stereotype. If you remember what is stereotype, that means we are assuming something, or we are thinking, or we are creating an idea, a fixed image in our mind about a people or a group of people, which means stereotypes. Now, a common stereotype about Muslim is that they are not interested in educating girls. People think that Muslim peoples are not interested in educating their girls and therefore do not send the girls to school. This example is given in your book also. However, studies have shown that poverty amongst Muslims is an important reason. What people are thinking that due to their religion says that do not educate girls, people are not sending their girls to the schools. But the main reason or the real reason the girls drop out is more from the school is that Muslims that they are facing a problem of poverty. Okay, majority of Muslims they are facing the problem of poverty, and that's why the girls drop out is more from the schools. Okay, so this is a kind of stereotype. Now next, people are engaged in different kinds of work. Now people are engaged in different kinds of works. Some are valued and some are not valued. See now, some are valued more. See people working in a posh offices, going to office in a car, wearing beautiful dresses, then working on laptops, so they think that those that work or that job has a more value, whereas people working on roads or they are striving very hard to meet their ends, these kind of people they are earning less, and that job is not valued. Less means it's not valued more. So there is a difference. Some jobs are valued more, some jobs are valued less. This belief is an important aspect of caste system. So people are discriminating on the basis of work. See, both of them are working. People sitting in the office is also working, and people working on the road, they are also working. Both of them are working hard. We cannot discriminate a person on the basis of their work. So this discrimination is an important aspect of caste system. How? Let's study now. See, in a caste system, communities or group of people, in a caste system, communities of group of people were placed in a sort of ladder. Now here a word ladder comes, that means a CD. So okay, can you imagine a picture of CD in front of you? See, okay, so it has so many steps on it, right? So first step is what to say, there are so many steps. So first step, then above it another one, above it another one, and the topper one is on the last. So what happens, same way people, what they have done, they have made the group of people and space placed in sort of ladder. So let's see now, lower caste, then again usse achhi will come on top, again better than it will come on top, again better than it will come on that top, and the last one will be the upper caste. Okay, so the caste system is divided into upper caste and lower caste. Upper caste shows themselves as superior. Upper caste thinks that they are very superior, whereas lower caste are considered as untouchables and named Dalit. So this is before independence, not now, where people of lower caste are considered untouchables. That means we should not touch them, and they were named as Dalits. What is the meaning of Dalit? Dalit means broken. Okay, so let's see now. The caste rules were specified and the work was performed according to it. The caste rule, a person belong to certain caste should do that work only. Okay, so works were distributed according to the caste. For example, some groups, means some group of people belonging to same caste were forced to pick garbages, remove dead animals from the villages. Okay, but they were not allowed to enter the homes of upper caste or take water from the village well or even enter the temple. Now if you want to relate with this situation, I will recommend watch the Marathi movie Fandry. Okay, in that movie they have given a clear example how the people are discriminating people on the basis of the caste. Okay, Lower caste children could not sit next to the children of the other caste in school. This is what discrimination means. That means not only by the society, in the schools also, people were not treated, or the children were not treated equally. They were not allowed to sit next to the upper caste child. Okay, see now. Now, story of B.R. Ambedkar. Now, story Ambedkar, B.R. Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar, everybody knows him, right? So, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar full name. What is the full name of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar? Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar. He was born in 1891 and he died in 1956. Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar is also considered as a father of Indian Constitution. Everybody knows this. Who is the father of our Indian Constitution? Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar. He is also best known as the leader of Dalits. He was also amongst one, so he is best known as the leader of Dalits. Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar fought for the rights of Dalit community. He fought very hard for the rights of Dalits community because they were discriminated on very high level. So he fought for their equality. Okay. Now there's a story given. Okay, he laid many of the efforts for Dalits to get entry in the temples. That means before independence, Dalits were not allowed to enter the temple. So Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar fought for the and made lot of efforts for the Dalits to gain entry into the temples. Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar was the first person from his caste who completed his college education and went to England to become a lawyer. So this is very important. Education has a lot of power in it. So dear children, always keep in mind that we should become capable, and then only we can face the society. If you want to change the society, you must have that capability in you. For that you have to study very hard. Okay, Dr. Ambedkar was the first person. In that time, the children he belonged to a certain caste. In that caste, those children were not allowed. They were considered as untouchables. Okay, at that period he had overcome all these difficulties, and he was first person who attended college education and went to England and became a lawyer. Okay, later in his life he converted to Buddhism. He converted his religion. That means he came to Buddhism. Because why he converted into Buddhism? Because he found that, because in his research for a religion, he thought that Buddhism was a religion which treated all the citizens equally. From his childhood itself, he have faced lot of inequalities. So he thought that there should be a religion where everybody is treated equally. So he converted himself to the Buddhism. Okay. Now story about B.R. Ambedkar. Now we are discussing about him, but where is the story, right? So I will tell you the story. You just observe the picture over here. Okay. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar is one of the greatest leader of India, and he shares his first experience of caste-based discrimination which took place in 1901 when he was just 9 years old. He had gone with his brothers and cousins to meet his father in Koregaon, which is now in Maharashtra. Long did he wait, but no one turned up. An hour elapsed, and the station master came to inquire. He asked us for our tickets. We showed them to him. He asked us why we travelled. We told him that we were bound for Koregaon and that we were waiting for father or his servant to come, but that neither had turned up, and that we did not know how to reach Koregaon. So Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar with his cousins and brother was travelling. Okay, he had come to meet his father in Koregaon. They were waiting on the station so that his father or a servant could come and pick up them from the station. So as they were waiting, station master came and asked, why are you waiting? Then they showed, first he asked for the tickets. They showed the tickets, and then he asked, why are you waiting? Then they told him that we are waiting for our father or his servant to come. Okay, they were dressed very well. We were well dressed children. From our dresses or talk, no one could make out that we were children of untouchables. They were speaking beautifully, their language was very nice, they were wearing beautiful clothes. So, what they thought, that station master thought that they are Brahmins. Okay, indeed, station master was quite sure that we were Brahmin children. The station master thought that these children belong to a Brahmin family and was extremely touched and polite in which he found us. As usual among the Hindus, the station master asked us who were we. Then he asked, who are you? Then Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar immediately replied that we are Mahars. Mahar is one of the community one which were treated as untouchables in Bombay Presidency. He was stunned. So after telling, when Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar told him that we are Mahar, he was stunned. His face underwent sudden change. We could see that he was overpowered by a strange feeling of repulsion. So he was very much stunned that how can these children dress so well, speaking so beautifully, how can they belong to a Mar caste? As soon as he heard my reply, he went away to his room and he left those children there and he went away, and we stood where we were. 15 to 20 minutes elapsed. The sun was almost setting. So what happened? After 15-20 minutes, they found that it started becoming dark. The sun was setting. Our father had not turned up, nor he had sent his servant. Father also didn't come and servant also didn't come. We were quite beleaguered, and the joy of happiness which we felt at the beginning of the journey gave away. So they were very happy to come here, but nobody was receiving them, so they became very sad. After half an hour, the station master returned. After half an hour, the station master came again. We said that if we could get a bullock cart or hire, we would go to the Koregaon, and it was not very far, we would like to start straight away. What they said, that we want to go to Koregaon immediately. Can you please help us in hiring a bullock cart so that we can reach there, and if it is not far away, we can go by walking also. Okay, there were many bullock carts plying for hire. There were many bullock carts on the station. Okay, but what happened? When the bullock cart people knew that the passengers which they will be carrying are untouchable, belong to the untouchable class, nobody there was nobody allowed them to sit in the bullock cart. Okay, we were prepared, even they were prepared to pay the double fare. They were ready to give double fare, but double money, but then also nobody was allowing them to sit in the bullock cart. Why? Because they belong to the Mahar caste, because they were considered as untouchable. Now what does this story shows us? This story shows us caste based discrimination is not only limited to preventing the Dalits from undertaking certain economic activities, but it also denies being respect and dignity given to other. Very, very important. At first, station master, what he thought, they are beautifully dressed, they are speaking very beautifully, so they must be belonging to, or and they were having money also, because they were ready to pay double amount. So they what the station master thought, that they are belonging to the upper caste. But when he knew that these children belong to the lower caste, immediately he changed his angle towards him. So this is what means the money doesn't matter over here. Because they belong to a certain caste, they were neglected or discriminated. Okay. Striving for equality. Struggle for equality was done from before independence. Struggle was not only against the British rule, but was also against inequality. On Dalits, women, tribals, peasants were treated unequally before independence. Means people who we were not only facing the problem of Britishers, but also we were facing the problem of inequality. Dalits were treated unequally, women's, tribals, peasants, everybody were treated unequally before independence. Okay, many Dalits organized themselves to gain entry into temples. So after independence, what happened? Many Dalits started organizing themselves so that they can gain entry into the temples. Women demanded that they should have as much as right to education as men did. Before independence, girls were not educated. Okay, they were thinking that it's not necessary that girls should be educated. So women demanded for the right for the education. Peasants and tribals fought to release themselves from the gross of moneylenders and the high interest they were charged. Peasants means those who are working in the farms, poor farmers, they also started fighting for their rights, that the high interest, they will not pay any high interest charged by the zamindars or the moneylenders. Okay. India got independence in 1947. Our leaders, to their concern about different kinds of inequalities that existed in the society, our leaders were not only concerned about the freedom, but what about after freedom? When Britishers will go, who will rule this unequal society? This was a big problem. Okay, therefore, what happened? Therefore, leaders set out a vision and goal in the constitution to ensure that all the people of India were considered equal. So, hence, this is the reason why the constitution was formed. Why it was formed? So that all the Indians were considered equal. There should be no inequality in the society. Okay. So, vision and goals of the constitution. Now, here is a picture of some of the members who wrote the constitution of India. Okay, equality is recognized as a key rule. First and the formal important thing in the constitution is equality. Untouchability is seen as a crime and has a legally abolished by law. Now we cannot say or we cannot claim persons as untouchables. If we do so, we will get punishment by government or law. Okay, constitution also placed responsibility on the government to take specific steps to realize this right of equality for poor and other such marginal communities. Respect for diversity was significant element in ensuring equality. Despite this, inequality still exists in our society. So many steps were taken, but after these steps also, still today inequality exists in our society. Why? Why do you think so? What is the conclusion? Equality is the value that we have to keep striving for, something which will not happen automatically. Okay, so equality cannot happen automatically. We have to change ourselves, we have to change society so that there will be equality everywhere. Okay, the first page of constitution clearly states that all Indians are entitled to equality of status and opportunity. First page of our constitution says that all Indians are equal. Okay, first page of our constitution clearly says that Indians are entitled to equality of status and opportunity. So this is what the Constitution of India, which means preamble. Okay. So what is your homework for today? You will write preamble in your civics notebook. And this is what, with this we end with our chapter, dear children. And in the next session we will discuss question and answers. Okay, so thank you for watching the video. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you.